stop worrying about your bills. I didn't say stop paying them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Let's make it plain. We're not saying stop paying them, but we are saying stop worrying about them. Because worry does not add one single cent to your bank account.
Only money is money. Worry is not money. And when we are in that, giving that fear response to a circumstance, then what we're doing, because you're creators and you're extremely powerful, is setting up the scenario by which you get more of what you already have, even if what you have is nothing.
Right.
Stuff 24/7.
Exactly.
And so when you avail yourself of those resources, you're positioning yourself for that thing that's going to say, man, I have all the resources that I need to do everything that I want to do.
Exactly. So now you increase your money coming in, and then you don't have to avoid your bills. But if you are in the habit of worrying about your bills and avoiding them, then having more money, you just have bigger bills. Mm-hmm. So you just become better and better at avoiding them. Right. So that's why we say you want to leave that. So if you're leaving to say, I'm leaving worrying about bills in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm leaving that behind. Okay. So while we're talking about bills, we might as well get into number 2, which is money.
Money is another thing that causes worry and stress. And here's the thing, it's a very nuanced thing, but I think it's so important. You have to stop looking at this through the lens. You're taking your telescope and you're flipping it around. So you're looking in the big end and out of the small end. So what does that do? That makes everything be distorted. And that's not how telescopes work. So instead of stressing about how little money you have, you need to look at that in a completely different way and focus on the things that make you happy and look at the fact that you have bills and you have all of these things as being indicative of the kind of person that is doing great things. Mm-hmm. Because guess what? You know, if you don't have anything and you don't have any bills and stuff like that, then you're not really doing anything of note. So you are obviously not that person. Mm-hmm. But you have to look at it that way and say, you know what? I am the kind of person, I have big bills every month, right? But a lot of money comes through my hands. Mm-hmm. And this is part and parcel. It's like, because many times I think we look at folks that are wealthy, like they're just like Smog, the dragon, sitting on this chest of gold. Didn't really do anything. People aren't
looking at us like that.
Right. Didn't do anything to get it. And they just have it and they're just keeping it. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But the reality is, if you're a millionaire, you got millionaire kind of bills. There's tons of cash that are flowing through your fingers all the time.
Right. The more money that we have made, the more bills that we have, the larger the bills that we have. That's just the way that goes. And, you know, a lot of times we listen to people talk about wanting to build wealth and wanting to have more money. And it's really based on this desire to be free. I want to be free. I want to be free. And here's the reality. If you don't learn how to be free without money, you won't know how to be free with it. Mm-hmm. However, if you learn how to be free, you step into the space of freedom. You can make as much money as you want.
Right.
It's not, and you can enjoy the process. Make no mistake, you can learn how to enjoy the process of making more money, the journey to even more. When you get to $1 million, you enjoy the journey to 10 million. When you get to 10 million, you're enjoying the journey to 100 million. It's like you are enjoying the process of getting there, as opposed to feeling like, oh my God, what's wrong? Why? indicating that, well, the reason why is because you're stuck in this state of mind that is creating that, right? So,
right, because on some level you're thinking wealth is a destination.
yes, and it's not. It's a way of being.
It's a way of being. It's a lifestyle. It's a way that you go through the world. So when when how you drink a cup of coffee is elevated, then guess what? All the other things start to elevate because you're looking for opportunities to elevate.
Yes.
And your money's no different.
Exactly. So you're constantly moving in that direction. So we like focusing on money because money is fun, right? And if when you think about money, it immediately causes you to feel stress and lack, you want to heal those money codes. You want to heal the program that you're running as far as money. And so the beginning of that is leaving behind the idea that money is scarce. Okay? I am leaving worrying about money, because you see how they're two sides of the same coin? Worrying about bills is one side. I'm worried about it going out. Worrying about money is the other. I'm worried about it coming in and not having enough coming in.
Right.
If you understand, beloved, it's as simple as this. If you want more to come in, then you want to do more, take more actions that allow more people to be served. It's that simple. It's that simple.
The easiest way to get more
That's
for
how you
yourself.
make more money.
Right. Easiest way to get more for yourself, and probably the only way to get true abundance for yourself, is by helping others get what they want as well.
Yeah. It's not about, I see somebody talking about being frugal. That's one of the first things people want to do when they need money is I need to be more frugal. And I'm like, you show me a person who made a lot of money and lived a happy, wealthy life based on being more frugal. It does not happen. So
Can't save your way into abundance.
You can't. What you want to do is be conscious, and also your consciousness level wants to go up to the space where what you are conscious of is all the doors and windows through which money can come to you. Not that your consciousness level is how little I have and what I don't have.
How I can hold on to what I already have.
And how can I hold on to what I already have? Because you know what? A seed in the ground will give you fruit. A seed in your pocket gives you nothing. And eventually the seed goes away.
Yeah.
It loses its viability, beloveds. Okay? So when you're trying to, and a seed in your belly doesn't give you anything. Right? So that means what I'm saying there is that you can be so worried about holding on to what you have that you either eat your seed or you hold on to it instead of putting it into the ground. Well, I'm scared to put it in the ground because I can't see it, right? But that's the only way that it can give you fruit, right? So leaving worrying. So everybody say, I'm leaving worrying about money in 2022. I'm leaving it behind.
Yep. Now the third thing, and this is huge, the past. The past is something that you cannot change. Who hurt you, or who you hurt, or what you did, or what you left undone, or anything else from the past.
The mistakes you made.
The mistakes you made. All of that.
The how you procrastinated, what you did do, what you didn't do, what you wish you would have done, what you feel like you should have done. If you should have done it, you would have done it. You did not do it because it didn't need to be done. The question is, what will you do now?
Right. Right.
What are you going to do now?
Right. Who you dealt with that you shouldn't have. Who you didn't deal with or who you didn't reach out to that you should have. Right?
It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. Let it go. Let it go. Don't spend another precious, precious moment of your life looking behind you.
You've got to concentrate on what's in front of you. There's a very practical reason why your rearview mirror and your side mirrors are so small and your windshield is so big by comparison. It doesn't mean that what's behind you didn't have some value, and certainly you want to glance at it as you're driving. When I've taught all of my sons how to drive, I'm like, because the tendency when you're learning to drive is to get fixated on that. I need to keep looking, so I need to make sure that nobody runs into me. And I need to make
Right.
sure that that car is not too close to me. Or nobody's, when they tell you when you're getting ready to drive, when they tell you about the blind spot, and it's your first introduction to that, people get fixated on that. So they're constantly staring at that side mirror because they don't want somebody to be in their blind spot. You have to watch out for the blind spot. But it doesn't require that level of focus intensity. All it requires is a glance every now and then.
Right.
As you're concentrating on where you're going, not where you've been and who's behind you.
One of the things as you're saying that, Baba, that's really interesting is that when you are driving, the only reason that you ever look behind you is not because of where you've been, it's because of who else is coming up behind you. So it's not even about some static place, which is why it doesn't work when you try to do that with your life.
Right. You just glance.
There's not anybody coming up from behind you to get you. And if you're concerned about, well, did I take care of everything? This is why we really encourage, there's a thing that you can do in the evening before you go to bed, which is you review your day and you write down the things that you left undone. That's the equivalent of looking in your review mirrors. And that's about all you need to do. What did I leave undone that still needs to be done that I'm taking to do tomorrow, right? That's an appropriate use of memory, okay? However, when you are perpetually trying to glance back in your rearview mirror at where you came from, what was going on 50 miles back, 100 miles back, you can't do that. But yet you are doing the equivalent of that with your life. You literally can't see where you were 1,000 miles back if you're driving a vehicle, right? You can't see it. But you're trying to do that with your life all the time.
When you're squinting into that rearview mirror trying to see it, that number one is going to take your eye off where you're going.
And you still can't see it. It's totally
see
ineffective, right? So what you want to ask yourself is, why do I keep looking at what I did last year? 5 years. So last year, that's being gentle, right? Because some of you guys are always looking at what you did 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. It's like,
or maybe it's this
why?
Maybe it's this huge bucket of regret that's marked on the side, how it used to be. Oh, I remember when we used to. Or I remember one time when...
Yeah, this shows up a lot in relationships.
Or I remember like one time I was dating this person. I remember one time I used to be married to this person. I remember, man, I should never have done that. And you become like this person always have this tale of woe. Now you want to share that with other people as if it's relevant. You know what? Don't be like me because I did so and so. Don't be like me because I should have did and I didn't. Don't be. It's like.
Okay, so I'm just gonna be totally irreverent because that's me. Okay, but. There's a part of me that's like, well, if you want to take that on as your job, then at least monetize that bad boy. Turn it into a business and something. I am the oracle of what should not have been done. Pay me this much, and I will tell you all the things, all the mistakes that I have made in my life, and all the stories of the bad things that I have done.
Doom.
And I am the warning from the universe of what not to do.
Right. The warning of doom.
Tell me what you're doing, and I will tell you what not to do. I will tell you how I effed it up. Okay? And if you want to do that, and you want to monetize that, and you know what?
But how much do you pay those people for that?
That's my point.
Or do you just roll your eyes when they start on their story? Okay, we heard this one before.
Well, if you didn't pay them for it, then it's just an annoyance. But if you are a person who's like, I want to know what can go wrong, brand yourself as I am the oracle of what can go wrong.
I'm the oracle of
and
doom.
See what happens.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Put a nickel in my palm and I will tell you what bad thing could happen.